Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Life is full of uncertainties, challenges, and trials that often make us question our ability to control everything. Yet at the heart of this turmoil lies an essential truth. True peace lies not in control, but in complete trust in Allah. Today we will explore how, by letting go of the illusion of being in control, we can find the deep serenity that often eludes us. Through inspiring stories and Quranic verses, let's discover together how to let Allah guide our steps, even in moments of doubt and fear. 1. The illusion of human control. The need to control every aspect of our lives is a universal struggle. We want to manage everything, anticipate everything, understand everything. This attitude comes from a feeling of insecurity, a fear of the unknown which leads us to believe wrongly that everything depends on us. However, the reality is very different. Our role, as taught to us by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is not to rule the universe, but to submit to the one who already rules it with perfection. Let's take a moment to visualize this scene. A traveler crosses a desert, an arid and infinite landscape. He holds a handful of sand in his hands which he squeezes desperately, as if he could hold it back. But the more he squeezes, the more sand escapes between his fingers. This image perfectly illustrates our unsuccessful attempt to control what escapes us by nature. Life is like this sand. It cannot be totally mastered, because it does not fully belong to us. This desire to control everything is a heavy weight that we carry around unnecessarily. It causes stress, anxiety, and a constant feeling of dissatisfaction. However, Allah reminds us in the Holy Quran, "And put your trust in Allah. Allah is sufficient for you as your protector." Surat Al-Ahzab 3. This verse is a powerful reminder that we are never alone. When we let go of the illusion of control, we make room for peace of mind and faith in divine wisdom. Trust in Allah does not mean abandoning all responsibility, but recognizing our limits and entrusting to Him what is beyond our capacity. A concrete example can clarify this idea. Imagine a parent worried about the future of their children. He does everything in his power to educate them, guide them, protect them. But beyond his efforts, he must accept that he cannot predict everything. Placing your trust in Allah means saying, "I did my best. The rest is up to you." This raises a crucial question. What concerns do I hold so tightly, wrongly believing that they are up to me alone? Maybe it's your job, your relationships, or even your future plans. Ask yourself this question sincerely, and you will discover that many of your anxieties are only the fruit of a vain attempt to control everything. In reality, letting go is an act of faith, a conscious choice to recognize that our knowledge is limited, while Allah is Al-Alim, the All-Knowing. He knows what we do not know and directs our lives with infinite wisdom. So instead of fighting against the unknown, surrender to the one who has all knowledge and power. This is where true serenity lies. 2. The story of a man and his lost ship. Imagine a man on the seashore, gazing at his destroyed ship. This ship was everything to him: his wealth, his future, his security. Then a storm, brutal and unexpected, takes everything away. Distraught, he sits on the beach, unable to understand why this happened to him. For days he cried, questioning Allah in despair. Why me? Why now? But Allah's plans are always beyond our understanding. What this man did not know was that the destruction of his ship was not a punishment, but a preparation. While desperately searching for a solution, he discovered an opportunity he would never have considered before. This treasure, which seemed hidden behind the veil of loss, would only be revealed through this ordeal. It's a universal lesson. What we perceive as immediate loss may, in reality, be mercy in disguise. In the Holy Quran, Allah wisely reminds us, "It may be that you hate a thing, although it is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing, although it is evil for you. Allah knows, but you do not know." Surat Al-Baqarah 2:16. This verse is not simple consolation. It is a call to transform our perspective. Rather than seeing trials as obstacles, we are invited to consider them as bridges to a good that we do not yet understand. Consider this question. How many times have you cried over a closed door, only to realize later that a much better one had opened for you? Let's take another example. A woman loses a job she deeply cherished. She feels immense pain, a feeling of failure. But a few months later, she discovered a new opportunity, a job that not only excites her more, but also fits her talents perfectly. She then realizes that this loss was necessary for her to move forward towards something better. In these moments, the human heart is tested. It is natural to feel pain and incomprehension when faced with difficulties. But that is precisely where the importance of faith lies. Believing, even when we do not yet see the way. Trusting Allah means accepting that His wisdom goes beyond our limited vision. Ask yourself this question. What if what you are experiencing now, as painful as it may seem, was a necessary step to guide you towards a greater good? Perhaps your lost ship today is paving the way for a treasure that only Allah knows. Accept the trial, confide your concerns to Him, and wait to see how His mercy manifests itself. 3. Faith in the face of the invisible. Imagine yourself walking into a room in complete darkness. You cannot see where your steps lead, but a reassuring voice guides you. Keep moving, I'm with you. Trusting Allah means moving forward in this darkness, with the certainty that each step, however uncertain, leads towards the light that He has prepared for you. Faith in the face of the invisible is not blind faith. It is a faith enlightened by the recognition of our own limits. Allah, Al-Basir, the clairvoyant, sees what we cannot perceive. He knows not only the path before us, but also the dangers we ignore. Trusting Allah means accepting that our vision is limited, while His wisdom is infinite. The story of this pious woman, who lost everything in a fire, embodies this unshakable faith. When asked how she could remain so calm after seeing her belongings go up in smoke, she simply replied, "Allah took from me what I had, but He did not take from me Himself. As long as I have Him, I have lost nothing." This kind of faith is not built in a day. It arises from a deep understanding that everything we have, our possessions, our relationships, our dreams, is temporary. What is eternal is our bond with Allah. In the Quran, Allah powerfully says, "And whoever puts his trust in Allah, He is sufficient for him." Surat At-Talaq 3. These words resonate like a promise. Allah never abandons those who place their trust in Him. Faith in the face of the invisible is remembering that even when everything seems chaotic, Allah already has a plan, and that plan is always for our ultimate good. Consider for a moment, what is it that you want to protect at all costs? Maybe it's your financial stability, your reputation, or your personal relationships. These attachments, while important, can become burdens when placed above your trust in Allah. Let's return to another anecdote. A godly man was facing major financial losses. He prayed fervently, but saw his situation getting worse. One day he realized that his attachment to his riches was preventing him from seeing the true lesson behind his trials. He then decided to say, "O Allah, everything I have is from you. Take back what you want, but keep my heart attached to you." Soon after, he found a solution to his problems, but with a peaceful heart and renewed faith. Ask yourself this question: what fears or attachments are holding me back from my total trust in Allah? Perhaps by identifying them, you will discover that they are just shadows in a room where the light of Allah is already present. Faith in the face of the invisible is the art of walking with confidence, even when the path remains veiled. 4. Let go and enjoy serenity. Stress, worry, and anxiety are often companions of our daily lives. They are rooted in our inability to accept the unknown and our fear of failure. However, the key to experiencing true serenity lies in a simple truth: letting go. This concept may seem difficult, even frightening, because it goes against our natural instinct for control. But letting go does not mean giving up or giving up. It means recognizing that Allah directs our affairs better than we ever could. One day, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, observed a man who was about to leave his camel without tying it. The Prophet then said to him, "Tie your camel, then put your trust in Allah." There is immense wisdom in this simple directive. It teaches us that effort and trust in Allah go hand in hand. We must do our best in everything we do, but not be consumed by anxiety about the outcome. This story invites us to personal reflection. Do I exhaust myself trying to control everything, or do I allow myself to trust in Allah after I have accomplished my efforts? In the Holy Quran, Allah reminds us with comforting gentleness. Certainly, after difficulty there is ease. Surat Ash-Shar 6. These words are a balm for the worried heart. They remind us that trials never last forever. Each difficulty carries with it a promise of relief, a life lesson that enriches and elevates us. By accepting this reality, we can learn to replace worry with trust and doubt with invocation. Think of a river. When she encounters an obstacle, she doesn't stop. It finds a way around, digs, or expands. This flexibility, this letting go in the face of the unexpected, is the key to moving forward with serenity. Let's return to another inspiring anecdote. A mother overwhelmed by life's responsibilities constantly worried about her children. One day an elder in his community said to him, "My sister, your role is to plant the seeds and water them. But it is Allah who makes them grow. Do not carry this burden alone." This advice allowed him to find inner peace, accepting that his efforts, although necessary, are only part of the divine plan. So, ask yourself this question: what if I chose today to turn my worries into sincere prayers? Whenever doubt invades you, stop for a moment and remember Allah. Entrust Him with your fears, your frustrations, your uncertainties. Imagine what it would be like to replace anxiety with a dialogue with Allah. Rather than allowing yourself to be swallowed up by failure scenarios, open your heart to the one who already knows the outcome and wants the best for you. Letting go is not losing. It is agreeing to become a conscious servant, appeased by the certainty that Allah is the best of planners. This is where true serenity lies. 5. A prayer to soothe hearts. There comes a time in everyone's life when words escape, when the weight of uncertainty seems unbearable. In these moments, raising your hands in prayer is not a gesture of weakness, but a declaration of confidence. It is recognizing that our strengths are limited, but that we have direct access to Him whose power is infinite. When you feel worry taking over your mind, close your eyes and invoke Allah with sincere words, like this prayer. O Allah, You are the one who knows the invisible and the obvious. Guide my heart to trust You in what I do not understand. Ease my worries and make me someone who relies entirely on You. Help me to accept what I cannot change, and to see in each ordeal a path to You. Ameen. This prayer is not just a cry for help, it is a reaffirmation of our faith, a reminder that true peace comes not from what we own or control, but from our connection with Allah. In the Quran, Allah tells us, "Those who believe and whose hearts are tranquilized at the mention of Allah. Is it not by the evocation of Allah that their hearts are tranquilized?" Surat Arad 28. These words resonate like a sweet melody in the restless soul. They remind us that prayers don't just change our circumstances, they also change our hearts. They transform fear into confidence and anxiety into serenity. Imagine for a moment a ship in the middle of a storm. The waves hit violently, the wind howls, but in the cabin, the captain remains calm. For what? Because he knows the strength of his ship and the direction it must follow. In the same way, our prayers are like that invisible anchor that stabilizes our souls in the storms of life. Take a moment to think. When was the last time you spoke to Allah from your heart, without filter, without formality? Too often we get lost in routine, forgetting that prayer is a living dialogue with the Lord of the worlds. It is not a simple obligation, but an invaluable opportunity to release our fears and regain our inner balance. A companion of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, once asked, "O Messenger of Allah, if I can only remember one thing in my supplications, which should I choose?" The Prophet replied, "Ask Allah to fill you with peace." This advice is universal. It transcends times and circumstances. Because when our hearts are at peace, we are able to see the light even in the darkest times. So today, make prayer your refuge. Address Allah as a close friend, as a confidant who already knows everything about you, but is waiting for you to open your heart to Him. You will see that the peace you seek is already within you, because it comes from the One who controls everything. Remember, dear brothers and sisters, the peace you seek lies not in controlling every aspect of your life, but in trusting completely in the One who controls everything. The trials you are going through today may well be the doors to blessings you could not imagine. So, put your trust in Allah, and let every worry turn into a sincere prayer. Because when you rest in His hands, you are in the best hands. May the peace of Allah be with you, today and always. When worry and fear knock at our door, let us remember that our true strength lies in complete trust in Allah. Letting go does not mean giving up, but rather accepting that we are never alone. Our prayers are our anchor, and it is in this divine connection that we find inner peace. So no matter what challenges we face, let us always remember that serenity comes from the One who controls everything and who guides our hearts towards tranquility. Place your trust in Him and let each step become an act of faith.